Some days on morning television glide by on muscle memory, and others land with a thud you feel in your chest. This one did the latter. The chatter around Savannah Guthrie had already grown heavy, full of concern, unanswered questions, and that strange quiet that follows when someone so visible suddenly steps back. Then, during what should have been a breezy fourth hour, Jenna Hager shifted the air. No theatrics, no flashy tease, just a pause, a breath, and a decision to speak from the heart. Viewers leaned in because it didn't feel planned. It felt human. Jenna wasn't revealing secrets so much as acknowledging shared history and complicated care. In that moment, the show stopped being a broadcast and became a living room. What people responded to wasn't scandal, but vulnerability, the sense that friendship, especially under bright lights, carries weight, loyalty, and a cost that rarely makes it to air. Jenna at 44, a woman in her own skin. At 44, Jenna Hager occupies a rare space. Public figure, private soul, and unapologetic work in progress. She's lived long enough with labels to loosen their grip, and that ease shows now more than ever. Gone is the need to prove she belongs. What remains is a confidence shaped by motherhood, marriage, missteps, and meaning. Jenna's warmth isn't an act, it's a practiced choice, refined by years of scrutiny and self-reflection. She laughs loudly because she's earned it, speaks plainly because she's tired of armor, and leads with curiosity because certainty can be lonely. This stage of life has given her permission to value honesty over polish. When she speaks about friendship or fear, it lands because it's rooted in lived experience. 44, for Jenna, isn't a headline. It's a settling into truth, even when that truth is messy. Savannah Guthrie, Beyond the Desk. Savannah Guthrie has always projected steadiness, the kind that anchors a show and reassures an audience before sunrise. But behind that calm is a woman forged by loss, ambition, faith, and resilience. Her journey from local reporting to national leadership didn't erase vulnerability, it sharpened it. Savannah carries responsibility seriously, sometimes heavily, and those closest to her know the quiet cost of that strength. When she stepped back recently, viewers felt it because she's not just a host, she's a presence. What Jenna alluded to wasn't drama, but depth, the unseen labor of being dependable for millions while navigating personal seasons that don't fit into neat segments. Savannah's story isn't one of mystery, it's one of humanity. The pauses, the softer tone, the absence, these are not failures, but signals that even the strongest voices need room to breathe. A friendship forged under fluorescent lights. Workplace friendships are complicated enough without cameras, ratings, and public expectation. Jenna and Savannah's bond formed in shared green rooms, early call times, and moments when the broadcast ended, but the feelings didn't. They learned each other not through grand gestures, but through small mercies, covering a segment, offering a look of encouragement, sitting quietly when words failed. Over time, that familiarity deepened into trust. Jenna's on-air comments reflected that kind of closeness, the type where you know someone's strength because you've also seen their exhaustion. This wasn't about revealing private moments, it was about honoring them. Their friendship mirrors many adult relationships, supportive, imperfect, occasionally strained, but grounded in mutual respect. When Jenna spoke, it felt less like disclosure and more like protection, a reminder that real connection doesn't disappear when circumstances change. The weight of speaking publicly. Choosing to speak about someone you care about, especially when they're not present, is a delicate act. Jenna's words carried that awareness. She didn't claim authority over Savannah's story, nor did she offer answers she couldn't own. Instead, she acknowledged shared history and stepped back, leaving space for Savannah's voice when she's ready. That restraint mattered. In a media culture hungry for certainty, Jenna modeled something rarer: responsibility. Speaking publicly can clarify, but it can also complicate, and Jenna seemed keenly aware of that line. Her tone suggested care, not control. This wasn't about timing a moment for attention. It was about responding honestly when silence would have felt false. Sometimes truth isn't a revelation. It's an admission that relationships are layered and love doesn't always come with neat explanations. Why audiences leaned in? The response was immediate because people recognized themselves in the exchange. Viewers aren't just watching hosts anymore. They're tracking emotional authenticity. Jenna's vulnerability struck a chord with anyone who's had to support a friend while respecting their boundaries. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Social media buzzed not with outrage, but reflection. Conversations about loyalty, timing, and when to speak up versus stay quiet. That resonance explains why the moment traveled far beyond the broadcast. People are tired of spectacle and hungry for sincerity. They sensed that this wasn't a performance, but a person navigating care in public. In that way, the moment transcended television. It became a shared pause, reminding audiences that even polished spaces are occupied by people learning in real time how to show up for one another. Growth, not revelation. What some framed as a truth bomb felt more like growth spoken aloud. Jenna didn't rewrite history or expose hidden narratives. She acknowledged evolution, hers and Savannah's. Friendships change as life expands, and maturity lies in naming that without blame. Jenna's reflections suggested acceptance rather than accusation, clarity rather than confession. That distinction matters. Growth rarely comes with fireworks. It arrives quietly, through perspective gained over years. At 44, Jenna seems less interested in being right and more invested in being honest. Her words didn't close a chapter. They marked a margin note, a reminder that understanding deepens with time. For viewers expecting revelation, this may have felt anticlimactic. For those listening closely, it was something better. An example of emotional integrity in a world that often rewards oversharing without accountability. The quiet strength of stepping back. Savannah's absence, however temporary, underscored another truth. Knowing when to step back is a form of courage. High-profile roles rarely encourage pause, yet resilience often depends on it. Jenna's comments honored that choice without defining it, reinforcing the idea that presence isn't measured only by airtime. Rest, reflection, and privacy can coexist with purpose. Savannah's career has been marked by perseverance, and seasons of quiet don't erase that. They contextualize it. By not filling the silence with speculation, Jenna offered something generous: patience. In doing so, she reminded audiences that support doesn't always look like action. Sometimes it's simply holding space until the other person is ready to return, changed but intact, with their story still their own. What this moment says about women in media. This exchange highlighted the evolving way women in media relate to power, vulnerability, and each other. Gone are the days when professionalism required emotional distance. Jenna and Savannah represent a generation redefining leadership as relational, not rigid. Their dynamic shows that collaboration can include care, disagreement, and grace without diminishing authority. Jenna's willingness to speak from experience, rather than from a script, reflects a broader shift toward authenticity over perfection. It also challenges the idea that women must either reveal everything or nothing at all. There is a middle ground, one built on respect. That balance is hard-won and rarely visible, which is why this moment mattered. It offered a glimpse of how trust can survive pressure when nurtured with intention. At the end of the day, it's about care strip away the headlines, the commentary, and the speculation, and what remains is care. Care between colleagues, friends, and a community that has grown alongside them. Jenna's words weren't a finale. They were a check-in, both for Savannah and for viewers navigating their own complicated relationships. Life at midlife often invites reckoning. What to hold close, what to release, and how to speak truth without causing harm. Jenna seems to be answering those questions in real time. If there's a takeaway, it's this: honesty doesn't have to be loud to be meaningful. Sometimes it's simply the courage to say, "I'm here," and to trust that presence is enough.